Good evening and welcome to Public Space Sri Lanka. The topic of tonight's discussion will be one that lies right at the heart of the system of governance that we have got accustomed to since the colonial era. The very epicenter of that system was the rule of law and the independence of the judiciary. One thing that we have been told is that the judiciary was independent even when we were under colonial rule. What we will be discussing tonight, will be the intimidation of the judiciary by certain sections of the alternate media, and an unfortunate development which has been around for some time. We have in the studio tonight, Mr. Hemantha Warnakola-Sooriya, President's Counsel. We welcome you to the program.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Chandra.
And it was actually Mr. Warnakola-Sooriya who really brought out into the open a subject that people were too scared to discuss. They were too frightened even to acknowledge it. What is the reaction that you have got
I believe before I commence what I had to say, I'd like to tell the public, people may have forgotten the fact that even under the British colonial rule, when there was Mr. Bracegirdle who came on the invitation of the LSSP and the left parties, and then he was one of the persons who aroused the plantation workers' strike, and the governor was very, very angry because Bracegirdle was a British subject, and he got an order to deport him. Then against the deportation, we went to the Supreme Court, and our judges, mostly European judges, including the Chief Justice, then Chief Justice, rescinded the order of the governor and permitted, and the lawyers in Sri Lanka, headed by great H.U. Pereira and Colin Nordesen and others like that, was able to issue a writ of habeas corpus to produce the corpus before court, and he was released. Now, this is the tradition we have known. We have known that right throughout, the judiciary was sacrosanct. No one could get into the inner chambers of the judiciary and try to intimidate them. So people, even the remote villagers all over the country, whether they are estate workers, whether they are plantation, whether they are ordinary chainer workers, were beholden to the fact that their freedom is guaranteed by court. Now, thereafter have been certainly attacks on the judiciary, and no executive, whatever promises they give, whatever color they belong to, they do not want to share power in any matter with another authority. So when the Supreme Court or the Court of Appeal or the judiciary steps in to protect the rights of you and me, then the politicians get very angry and they want to stifle the judiciary, remove the judges who offend them, and then in place have puppet judges. Now, whether you claim to be a Dharmishta Samaj or whether you claim to be a society where all are equal, everybody is suffering from this phenomenon of independence. But still, the judges, irrespective of that, was able to maintain their independence. Now, the question is very, very important, Chandra. Few years ago, people rejected Mahinda Rajapaksa as the president of this country, and the entire legal profession, 90% of them, rallied round the Bar Association to vote against him because they found that he was unnecessarily trying to poke his finger into the matters of the judiciary. And then the final downfall came with the impeachment of Shinani Bandaranaike. I went and told him, he was my personal friend, I was his ambassador. I went and told him, sir, please do not impeach Shinani Bandaranaike. We will settle this matter. Give her 2-3 years so that she can gracefully retire and we can have somebody in place. He was adamant. He was saying, no, I want that woman removed. And then what happened? And but then that was one phase. Now we have come to even a graver phase where I don't know who is behind this. Certain alternative media and also some certain websites go on attacking the judges whom they think would give a judgment against the thinking of the government. Now if the government wants certain person remanded, they feel if the judge might be independent and release that person on bail or release that person, they get together and attack the judges so mercilessly. Their character is being decimated, assassinated, and they have no one to talk to, where they are judges of this country and they have no forum to discuss this matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's a case of another front being opened, isn't it? I mean,
Absolutely true.
Earlier it was the judiciary and the executive.
That's right.
That tension.
Yeah.
Now there's a tension between, say, the judiciary and a section of the alternative media.
Now this, who was behind this, we do not know. But when you think of the manner in which they have been attacking the judges, all those judges were judges who were given orders, who were prepared to give orders, irrespective of the political consideration, irrespective of what they think, what the government thinks of the suspect. They were trying to independently, on the basis of the evidence that before him, and on the basis that they know interference by the executive. They know that. They want to give orders, and this third front has been opened, and they are being attacked mercilessly, and they are virtually, they have become prisoners of their own conscience. So therefore, this is something that we must all get together, every independent thinking person, whatever color, whatever political color he belongs, he must get up and ensure that the judges' freedom are protected by the people of this country.
Yeah, how in this modern era, where information flows across boundaries without any hindrance at all, you have the internet, you have websites, you have the social media, then you have Facebook, which goes all over the place. Even if you censor certain websites, the Facebook page that belongs to that website can't be censored in any way.
Precisely.
So in this modern era, how do we really? Because now you have been a prolific writer to the newspapers yourself. Almost a journalist yourself, even though you're a senior lawyer. How do you really handle this in this modern era?
I believe, if say you take the YouTube, there is a if you Google and find out, there is provision for you to complain against a certain matter which appears in the YouTube, and I believe they will take cognizance of that, because they are very careful of defamation cases being filed against them. But unfortunately, I don't know why our government or no government has tried to find out what legal action that could be taken against them. Now, for the Facebook. Now, you know that Facebook, if you want to unfriend, you can unfriend. If you hide a post, you can hide it, and also you can complain, because it is not open. It is not, you cannot use the Facebook to defame people. But I don't know whether, the way that this is happening, it may be necessary to have a small department, to look into these matters, go to the websites and then take action. But on the other hand, now say if they vilify a politician, we may not be able to do anything. But if they vilify a court of law, there is contempt proceedings. The contempt proceedings can be instituted. The judges must have their backbone. They can issue notice on these people. My position is, I personally feel, if you do not know the address of these people of the websites, if there is a registered office in Sri Lanka, if there was the last registered office, we can serve summons to that registered office. And if the summons are returned, then we can ask for a warrant and an international warrant for arrest. We must explore the possibility, because contempt, no court, no country, no website, no social media will tolerate and condone contempt of the judicial process. So therefore, that is something the judges must take cognizance. They have the powers. They must not shy away from using the powers. Now, so I believe for the first time after I brought this matter up about this High Court judge, the Judges Association themselves have met, and they are going to meet the Chief Justice. And I believe the High Court judge himself has complained to the Chief Justice. So now it is up to the Chief Justice and other members of the Supreme Court to take action. Now, even recently, there was in these alternative media, Chandran, even the Chief Justice was once vilified. 2 other judges of the Supreme Court. Now a 3rd judge has been vilified. So we have to protect them, because if you say that anta dushita Seshtadhikar Ministry,
much of it is fiction, of course. Much of it must
much fiction, absolute fiction, there is absolute no truth in it. Once you say that, what will the ordinary man who believes in the court, who believes the system of justice, who believes this temple of justice, who believes that their freedoms are guaranteed, when their own gods are deified, vilified, what should be done? So the gods have themselves powers, the judges have powers. They must use those powers to prevent. And once and for all, I am happy that so many people even in the Attorney General Department, so many other senior members of the profession are united in their effort to curb this menace and once and for all put a stop to this.
Yeah, what you're basically saying is, Mr. Varangulu Surya, that our systems are not sophisticated enough to deal with this new situation.
Yeah.
Now, we had a situation in the recent past when certain people were even arrested for putting posts on their own Facebook pages. You know, and that which gets shared around. I mean, there was even the deputy chairman of the Southern Provincial Council was arrested and remanded. Then there was a young man from who came back from Malaysia, who was arrested at the airport
that's right.
for a similar offence. That was over making death threats over Facebook. So somehow that leaves a bad taste in the mouth, doesn't it, Mr. Varangulu Surya? I mean, that kind of approach. I mean, arresting, what you suggested was completely different.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you approached Facebook, you approached Google, and you try to get it blocked at that level. At that level. But here, this is a case of dealing with it in a very unsophisticated, primitive fashion.
Absolutely true. I believe there must be how to handle these matters. Now here, that matter where one person is supposed to have threatened the president of this country, he was arrested and remanded and bailed out. But here, absolute slander, absolute falsehood, absolute libelous material is being churned out as the truth. So this, and then the whole system has broken down. It's crumbling down. So don't we have the responsibility as citizens of this country, as not only as lawyers, to prevent and keep the system going and tell the judges, we are there to protect you, and put into operation some system where we could nip them in the bud.
We'll be taking a short break now. Stay with us.